the like family. So those of you who've not had a chance, to hear Uncle Rue, I've been part of our global leadership team for quite some time. You'll hear from him down the road. Dave Kaninsky wanted to pass on that he would not be able to be with us on this evening. And oh, we just missed Dave. We missed Dave. All right, let's go to work, ladies and gentlemen. We've got so much that we want to cover on tonight. The focus of tonight, and we're going to redo this on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern in the event that your folks weren't able to get on, or you need to see it and hear it again. And we are video recording. We're talking about compensation of Plan B. So now, if you are here for the first time and you don't know anything about Plan B just yet, maybe you're the person who will sponsor you into Plan B, and we're not giving it a name yet. That's why we're just calling it Plan B, because we're doing some field consulting with Plan B. But we had to sign a non-disclosure, and until we're told, okay, we can give out a name and URLs and all that good stuff, we're not giving anything that we haven't been told that we can share. We will share some highlights of the compensation. We may not necessarily get into all percentages and things of that nature, but at least help you understand the compensation model, the compensation structure, the ideology behind the compensation, why the compensation is what it is. And do remember, as we shared on the other evening, that behavior trumps percentages. All right, or the culture of behavior trumps percentages. We're going to have a culture with this company of people really getting more engaged. In the revenue sharing model, obviously, one of the great attractions of the revenue sharing model is the fact that Joe and Susie are not required to recruit affiliates, and yet they can still generate revenue. That's not going anywhere. That will still be there. All right. So, as a matter of fact, as we talk about compensation here, I won't do this in any particular order here. We know there's going to be a revenue sharing compensation system, and this impacts everyone, all qualified affiliates. So whether a person is good at recruiting other affiliates, sponsoring other affiliates, or not, so maybe a person's not good at it, maybe a person doesn't desire to do it, or maybe a person tries and still can't get it done, what have you. Okay, whether they're good at that or not, everyone can share in a portion of that day's revenue. Most of you know how this works. Company will put up to 50% of its daily revenue into a pool, and then you'll have everyone will share their pro rata share based on their number of, and the company's going to refer to this as points. So we've got companies out there that have referred to this as points or credits. It's the same, whether you say points or whether you say credits. It's just that some companies refer to them as credits, some of them refer to them as points. So the whole idea, obviously, is to build as large of a point total as you can. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to be in charge. Each affiliate will be self-determining in determining how many days your points will live. All right, what the company is going to do, which I love, and again, I've been part of this consultation phase of it. You know, one of the challenges that we've seen with the revenue sharing model, okay? Remember, revenue sharing, there's going to be income that comes from a number of different places. Obviously, as affiliates make package purchases, affiliates are making purchases of a package. Now, with this particular company, what we're going to be purchasing and what we're going to be giving away as samples is we're going to be giving away samples of what the company will refer to as bucks. All right. Some of you are familiar with the company right now that many of you, including myself, are promoting for, that gives away these discounted type dollars. I won't mention the name that they use because it's trademarked, and since we're not doing a webinar specific to them, I don't want to infringe upon the trademark. But they use something called, that we'll call in this webinar, discounted dollars. We buy the discounted dollars from the company. We give those discounted dollars to the customer so that the customer can come in and use those discount dollars as a dollar for dollar discount to buy products and services, participate in an auction, so on and so forth with that particular company. This company will refer to that concept instead of dollars. They'll refer to it as bucks. All right. And so what we'll do is we'll purchase bucks, but also in those bucks, and I don't know exactly how this will all pan out, but in those bucks, we'll be able to give away samples of physical product. Now that's a big difference. That part we have not seen in the revenue sharing space. Samples of physical products. Now what may happen is you may buy the bucks, and then when someone actually claims your sample, then the bucks are deducted from your back office and converted into points. In other words, let's say if I gave away a skincare sample, all right, and someone actually gets that sample, they get that sample sent to them. Well, it may, as an affiliate, I may need to have 100 of these bucks in my back office in order to give away that skincare sample. Well, once I gave away that skincare sample, my 100 bucks just converted into 100 points. Now, be mindful that there's really going to be a two-step process in terms of us developing those points. Let me go back and pull up something that I should meant to have pulled up before. Bear with me. Be mindful. There's going to be. Bear with me. Okay, so be mindful that we're going to have pages where we can have a customer register for free, and that's what we've been used to. You know, whether you were marketing in the penny auction space with a revenue sharing model, whether you're marketing in the travel, online mall, auction space in this industry, we've been used to getting a customer to register for free, and when they registered, that generated points or that generated credits. That will be the same. That will be the same. That will be the same. Now, there'll be a secondary step that the customer will be able to take where the customer puts in their name. All right, so let's say Joan Smith, 123 Main Street. Now, by the way, what I'm doing right now, the customer will not put in their mailing address on the front end. They will not put in their mailing address until they get to the point where they are getting ready to have the samples sent to them. So by the time they get to that part of the page, they're actually going to put in correct information and not bad information. Okay. All right. So zip code, because they want the sample. Okay, so now, give me a moment here. All right, give me a moment here. All right, so when someone just registers, all right, and again, on the front end of the registration page, they're not going to be required to put in their mailing address. By the way, if you're newer to this webinar, with this company, we're going to have a line of physical products that we'll be giving away samples for, okay? Skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, and I was just told today there's going to be 2 additional categories that will be added. There'll be a cardio product, and there'll be a product that helps people sleep well at night, okay? But the primary things that will feature will be skincare, weight loss, energy, and vitality. Why? Because those are the 4 products that are moving the most on the internet without an hour presentation, without an hour webinar, Typically how those products are moving, a lot of them are moving through affiliate networks, affiliate marketers, and thank you, Bonnie, for spending time with me to help me better understand the affiliate marketing world. Affiliate marketers are folks that come online. They're looking to market a company's product, and in marketing that product, they get a commission. They get, if there's a sale transacted, or in some cases, all they have to do is get a lead, and they may be paid per lead. This is an example of a product that's being marketed through an affiliate network. Some of you are familiar with ClickBank. There's another large affiliate network out there called ClickBooth. This is a product I think that maybe came through ClickBooth, where this professional affiliate marketing group that has been consulting with the company, as we shared before, they made $68,000 in 1 month marketing this particular product. Now, they spent a lot of money in advertising online to get people to go to this page, but what would happen is we'll have pages modeled after this, not exactly this page obviously, but we'll have pages modeled after this. By the way, the company that we're promoting is not this company RV here. I'm just showing you this as an example. So we'll have pages that'll look nice and crisp and professional like this. We'll have a customer register for free. You'll get points when they register at your site. That's what you're used to. That's what you're used to. That doesn't change. Then when they click Get My Order, this is where we're going to have the information where they put in their shipping information, and then they're going to pay for the actual shipping. Now, what typically happens online in these affiliate marketing offers is if they're giving away a sample, all right, what typically happens is when that customer puts in their credit card information to have the product delivered to them, they are agreeing in the fine print to also have an auto ship. We will not automatically rebill anyone. The only thing they will be doing is covering the shipping and handling to get the sample into their hands. As a matter of fact, on our page, it will be in big letters, no rebilling. So we believe we'll actually have a higher conversion rate than some of the regular affiliate marketers out there, because when someone goes to their site and they opt in and they see this, oh, I see what they did, and I put in my credit card information, they're going to bill me in 10 more days for $97.88. And if I forget to cancel the billing, or if I don't like the product or what have you, and I just forget to cancel the billing, boy, I'm on the hook for $100 a month. We are not going to do that. But here's the two-step process. They already registered here, right? Without their address and city and zip code and state and all that good stuff. You got what? You got points. You got points when that happened, okay? Because what you may be saying on here, it may be saying, hey, you're going to receive $100 towards, or $200 towards, or $300 towards the purchase of this skincare or weight loss or what have you, okay? And then when they get here and they actually get the physical sample, by hitting all this information and clicking Get My Order, and they'll build the shipping and handling, that's going to generate more points for you. So if a person decides not to go through with the sample, did you still get points because they registered at the first part of the site? Yes. If a person goes through with the getting the sample, what's it going to cost them? $4.95. Are they going to be automatically billed on that credit card? No. So why wouldn't they get the sample of what could be a $70, $100 product offer that they get for basically $4.95 to test out the product? Okay. All right. So that's enough on the product end. We'll have skincare. There'll be weight loss. There'll be energy. There'll be vitality. There's going to be a couple new categories by the way, just so you know, as I spoke with someone on the management team today, that they were coming from the manufacturer. There will be 13 13 branded products to this particular company once they launch the customer portals for the customers. There'll be 13 in those various categories. So it might be like 3 or 4 products that go into the weight loss piece, and then a few products that go into the skincare piece, so on and so forth. And down the road, there'll be even more products in those categories that will be added. They could add a new product every 60 days for the next 3 years with just the same manufacturer that they're dealing with. So products are not going to be an issue, and they'll have the capacity. The manufacturer will do all the shipping, handle all the returns, all that good stuff. Okay, here we go. So now let's go back to our compensation. All right, so what's going to happen is revenue is generated by a number of ways. When an affiliate purchases a package, that's revenue. A portion of that revenue goes into the daily rewards. When an affiliate pays their monthly subscription, and the options that you're going to have will be $15 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, and $200 a month. And like we say all the time, you'll pick the monthly subscription that fits where you are right now financially. Okay, like with any revenue sharing model that we've ever seen, the largest subscription gives you your biggest bang for your buck, and also gives you your biggest bang for your ability to earn income. All right, so you'll pick as large of a subscription as your resources allow. You're going to see that the company really incentivizes a person to get up to that highest subscription. Again, we never want somebody starting with a subscription that they can't afford, but we do want to incentivize them to get up to the highest monthly subscription as soon as they possibly can. You'll see how the company incentivizes folks to do that. A third thing that happens, obviously, is going to be product sales. Product sales and product movement. I believe a lot of that product sales and product movement will come from the affiliate base as well, because think about it. I mean, if you are taking the energy or the vitality product and it's working for you, you're going to want to continue. If you are using the skincare product and it's working for you, you're going to want to continue. Weight loss product and it's working for you, you're going to want to continue. Obviously, ultimately, what we want to see and what needs to happen for the long-term health of any revenue sharing compensation model is that there are a ton of customers that are not affiliated with the marketing side of things, the marketing opportunity. And we believe that we'll do a better job of maybe any other company out there, because why? We're getting physical product into the hands of the consumer. So it's not just a virtual sample that we'll be able to give away. It is a physical sample that we'll be able to give away. Now, there's going to be a lot of ancillary income that the company can generate. And again, we gave this example the other day. Years ago, when you had companies like Excel and other companies in the telecommunication space, for instance, what they would often do, they would pay some really big bonuses to attract people to come in and promote for them. And in many cases, whatever their startup fee was, if you did a little business, they would pay out almost 100% of whatever that startup fee was. And they didn't call it that, but that's in effect where it was coming from. Is you paid a $499 to get started with the company. You got a few customers, and then once you got enough customers, they paid commissions. All right, and they did that to pay big bonuses to get people excited about promoting the company. Now, one of the ways that you got your customers, all right, because you had to have so many customers in order to qualify, is in many cases the company had a website. And when you join, you got maybe just a bare bones website. Then if you upgrade it for like $19.95 a month, then you got a more comprehensive back office where you could see more of what was going on in your organization. So what leaders would do is they would tell folks, hey, You need to get so many customers anyway. If you get this website, that counts as 2 customer points. All right. Many of you saw that. Many of you remember that now. Okay. Well, let me tell you what was happening. What the company was doing, it was promoting people to get that site for $19.95 because they weren't commissioning that out. That was $19.95 that was coming into the company's coffers, and it didn't cost that much for that particular website, a little bandwidth and what have you, server space and things of that nature. And so if you had a company that had 100,000 folks, 100,000 affiliates on a $20 a month website fee, give me a moment. You know, that's a pretty nice penny. 1, 2, 3 times 20. What's that? Is that 2 million a month? Yeah, that's 2 million a month just with that alone. That's an ancillary income that the company generates. Now, typically, those types of companies, they don't pay that out in the traditional compensation model. So they don't say, hey, if we got a binary, then when people get this $19.95 website, we're going to put that in the binary or put that volume in the binary. If it's a unilevel compensation plan or a matrix compensation plan, that doesn't go in the matrix or the unilevel. However, it does go towards the company's bottom line. And so now the company might run contests. The company might use that income to help fund other parts of the compensation plan. All right. And so while it wasn't directly a part of the compensation plan, it was revenue that the company generated. And if the company wanted to use that to help incentivize the field to do some type of action, they could certainly use a portion of that. So my point is that any good revenue sharing model should have multiple ancillary income streams. All right. And so I can tell you, for instance, that this company will have a rebate mall. This company is going to have a rebate mall. Nothing new under the sun. It's not the only company that will have a rebate mall, but the whole purpose is, since people are going to be coming and getting skincare and weight loss and all those good things anyway, since we already have them in the web, hey, now they can go and shop at Target and shop at Walmart and shop at whatever they want to shop at online through this particular portal and get some cash back. Well, the way that happens is maybe that system is giving the company, I don't know, 5% cash back with that customer making a purchase, whether that customer is a not related to the income opportunity customer or whether that customer is an affiliate who simply starts to transfer buy. So now all of a sudden we're going to Walmart through our system. All right, you're going to go to Walmart anyway. You might as well buy it through your system and get some cash back. Well, maybe that system is going to pay 5% cash back, and the company gives 3% cash back to the customer. So the customer sees, oh, I get 3% cash back. Now, I'm giving fictitious numbers. I don't know what the numbers are. Okay, I just know that when you see any cashback shopping mall, what you see is what you and or the customer, as we become consumers, what we get back. We make a $100 purchase, we get $3 back in 30 or 60 or 90 days. On the other end, what happened though is the company actually got commissioned maybe 5%. Those are fictitious numbers. I don't know what the real numbers are. Okay, or I should say those are illustrative numbers, not fictitious. Illustrative numbers. So the company got back 5%, divvied out 3% to the field. I'm sorry, or 3% to the customer. What happened to that other 2% in my example? That's revenue for the company. Will that revenue, a portion of that revenue, go into the daily rewards? Yes. So I want you to see just that we hadn't even talked about yet. That part we haven't even talked about, that while we're giving away these samples and we're getting people to come into our system, those people are going to find out about the other. Remember I said it won't just be skincare. It won't just be that, those will be the feature, but it won't just be that. There'll be a number of ways that the company will be able to derive ancillary or additional revenue. Another way that companies derive ancillary revenue Could be things like sales aids. Now, they don't put this in the compensation model. They don't comp it out in the unilevel or what have you. But I'm going to tell you again how this all works. So what happens is you go to somebody and they do a periodical for you. It becomes a third-party endorsement, if you will. And you and we pay something like maybe, I don't know, 50 cents. And maybe we get a bulk of 100 and it costs us $50, or a bulk of 100 maybe costs us $75. But it didn't cost the company 50 cents per, maybe cost the company 25 cents per, as an example. Okay, so those types of things are revenues. Will the company come out and say, hey, if you buy sales aids, we're going to put that in a unilevel or a matrix or a binary? No, companies never do that, and I don't even think that's legal to do. But does that all go towards revenues that the company can have as revenues for the day? Certainly it could. Okay. All right. Now, my point is there's going to be a lot of different ancillary sources of revenue. And that's what starts to go into the daily revenue pool. Not just affiliate purchases. Monthly subscriptions go through there. Product sales, product movement. And then there are other ancillary income streams that can be there. I believe that rebate model is going to be a big part. By the way, some of you that are promoting with the company I promote for now, they too soon will be having a rebate model. So again, that should help even with that particular company that's being promoted there. All right, so now, we know that we're going to have the revenue sharing model. Now, on top of that, outside of the revenue sharing, to me, the biggest part of any revenue sharing compensation model, outside of the daily revenue, that's the core, because that's what attracts the masses. That's the core, because that's what attracts the masses. On top of that, to me, the most important part of the compensation model are the overrides. And you get these overrides when either you refer an affiliate that makes a purchase of the samples, all right, or the packages, and then overriding the daily, essentially almost the daily revenues of those folks that you have referred, or your referral network. Now let's make sure you understand how this works. Some of you do. Many of you are in revenue sharing models right now, and you really haven't gotten this yet. Because if you get it yet, then, I mean, once you get it, you may be like Bonnie, who she was in the Skype chat room today. Bonnie, when was the last time you slept? Bonnie, you got to get some sleep. You might need that sleep aid that the company's going to be adding. She's so pumped up. All right, here's what happens. All right, so let's say that you refer me, and I had the wherewithal to make a $2,500 purchase. I'm purchasing my first package of sample products that I can give out to my customers. All right, and it may be in the form of bucks that I'm giving. That simply my customer, when they go to my site, and register, I gave them a certain amount of bucks. That converts to points. Then they come back and they actually get the physical sample. That also converts to additional points for that particular transaction. Okay, so now what happens is when I purchase that, and remember, what looks like is going to happen, it doesn't look like the company is going to offer a $10,000 package. I know a lot of companies in the revenue sharing space, and then what we've been used to is packages that went as much as $10,000, some even as much as $12,500. Their attorney is not comfortable with that large of a package. Looks like they're going to cap it at maybe $2,500. May go a little bit higher, maybe $3,000, maybe $4,000. But let's say it's $2,500. That doesn't mean that you can only purchase a $2,500 package if you got the wherewithal to do more. It just means you can only purchase one $2,500 package at a time. So we'll be able to essentially fund our e-wallet And so if you've got the resources and you want to purchase in time 4 of these packages or 17 of these packages or 30 of these packages, you can do so. You just can't purchase 30 at one time. You can purchase your first package of 2,500. All right. There's a 70% rule that basically says you have to give away or use or sell 70% of the inventory that's related to this package purchase. And once you've done that, then you can purchase the second package. And you can purchase the third. So some of you that have the resources and you want to make and you like to make those larger purchases, you may want to fund your e-wallet with more than a $2,500 purchase. And so as soon as you give away the contents of one, you can immediately buy another package, so on and so forth. Now, how does this work overrides? All right, so you refer me. All right, you refer me, and I make a $2,500 package. The way this typically works in the revenue sharing space is that you get some type of override. And a lot of that is dependent upon what your rank is. And in many cases, you can achieve a rank very simply, or as simple as your monthly subscription. Legally, there has to be multiple ways to achieve that rank. It can't be a pay-to-play type situation. All right. So, for instance, give me a moment. So, for instance, if you were at the $15 a month subscription level, you would be at a 5% commission level. All right. So this is what would happen. I made a $2,500 purchase. You didn't have a lot of resources. You got started right where you were. You're going to raise your right hand and pledge that you're never going to hurt your family. You do want to purchase as large of a package as your resources allow. You do want to have as large of a monthly subscription as your resources allow. And one of the things I'm going to strongly encourage out of the gate is that you look at what your budget is going to be to make your initial purchase. And I'm going to strongly encourage you to include that $200 a month subscription as a part of that initial purchase that you make. So if I was going to make a $2,500 purchase, I would have me to have a $2,700 budget. If I was going to make a $1,000 purchase, don't know what the package amounts are, I would encourage me to have a $1,200 a month budget. And the reason I'm going to strongly encourage that is that we're going to have time to pre-build our teams in a pre-registration phase. So nobody's going to put up any money next week, assuming that the pre-launch pages come up then. Nobody's putting up any money then. It may still be a couple weeks before anybody buys a package. I'm going to strongly encourage this because this gives you your biggest bang for your buck, and many of you are going to refer folks and you're going to be commissioned. And if you have the larger subscription, that's going to allow you to be qualified for larger commissioning. And if you're getting to the point where you're about to come up to your 30-day, I think the monthly subscription will be on like the monthly anniversary. So if you join and pay a subscription on the 5th of the month, then the 5th of the next month, your next subscription would be due. If you see that you are a few days away from your first monthly subscription and you don't have the resources, okay, then maybe you backtrack. But I'm going to strongly encourage you to have the highest monthly subscription to get started. Okay. Now, obviously, what will you do? Raise your right hand and agree not to hurt your family. So if you don't have 200, if you're in another country where $200 US is a whole lot of money in your currency, all right, nobody's ever going to make you feel like a second-class citizen. Okay. I just want to help you maximize the compensation plan. All right, so here we go. Let's say that I'll use nice round numbers. Let's say that you were at a 10% commission rate. You would make $250. So you referred me. I made that $2,500 purchase. You'd make a $250 commission. You make a $250 commission. That's going to go into your commission account or cash account. Don't know exactly what they will call it. Obviously, you'll have the decision, or you have the choice to either cash that out as cash, or to use that to buy more inventory for yourself that you give away, that you generate more points, any combination of the two, and or obviously you'll also be able to use that to cover your monthly subscription. But now here is where it gets special. And again, this is where we want to really start to incentivize even those of you who don't think you're good at recruiting or sponsoring or selling. We want to incentivize you to commit to, hey, I want to build a team. I may not be good at recruiting or sponsoring, but I want to. I want to. Here's why. Because now when I have my, when the daily revenue starts, and let's say if I made, these are just round numbers. If I made $100 for the night, I probably wouldn't make $100 for the night on a 2,500 point total. All right, but let's say I made $100 for the night as an example. Okay, you would that night you would get an override of 10% or another 10. This system is going to pay in bucks, $10. All right, and some of you are familiar with the current system that where you can cash out, you know, up to a certain percentage of that in actual cash. That was absolutely brilliant, by the way. The reason that one of the reasons that company put that into place was because when the SEC looked at a company that had a revenue sharing model, one of the things that they threw out as a major concern was that that company allowed everyone to cash out 100% of their daily rewards, their daily commissions, and so on and so forth. And the SEC was concerned, what happens if everyone wants all of their money? There's a run on the system, so on and so forth. So a predecessor that many of us are already promoting for, that's something they brought to the revenue sharing world, which is absolutely brilliant. But there's nothing new under the sun. All right, now here's what I want us to get. Okay, in the company that was the biggest company in the revenue sharing space, they had a penny auction. They paid between 2 generations. They paid between 2 generations. So if you sponsored me, maybe you got a 10% commission. And what's really important about this is not only did you get that commission on my initial purchase, but you're getting that commission on my ongoing purchases or my ongoing rewards. The way a company that many of us promote for now, the way that system works is if you, whatever amount in your daily rewards that does not go to your commission account, whatever doesn't go to your commission account, you're paid in dollars with the company that we currently promote. You'll be paid in bucks with this company that many of you will choose to promote along with us. Okay, so what doesn't go to your commission account will go into your bucks bucket, and folks are going to be commissioned on that. So in time, last night we had somebody on our Everyday Can Be Payday webinar, and they were with the company where they had over 500,000 points with a company that they were promoting. And with the example that we showed last night, and their figures were actually higher, it was not uncommon for them to make close to $7,000 in a night. Wasn't uncommon at all. So if they allowed all of that to go to their bucks bucket, and you personally referred them, your revenue for that night, your override would have been $700. I had a gentleman in one of those systems, ladies and gentlemen, that was personal to me. He had 1.4 million points. It was nothing for him to generate $20,000 just from the daily revenue. I'm sorry, not just from the daily revenue. It was nothing for him to generate 20 grand a night from a combination of his daily revenue, from his point total, and any commissions he was receiving because he was building a referral network. And what he would typically do is whatever his commissions were for that day in revenue and commissions, he would repurchase 80% of that so that he could replace his points that were going to retire. So he would repurchase about $16,000 a night. Ladies and gentlemen, I was getting a 10% commission. You do the math on that. Okay? Well, so what we're used to is we're used to a company paying out maybe so many generations, One company that just came out in the marketplace in October-ish. They've got a very strong travel component. As a matter of fact, congratulations, because they just purchased a travel agency. They actually pay through as many as 6 generations. But what we're used to is 2 generations. You sponsor me, you get 10%. Okay? I sponsor Roy. I sponsor Roy. I get the 10% override. You, all right, so Roy's down here, right? Roy's getting he's made his purchase. Roy is now getting his daily rewards, and a certain amount of that is going into his bucks bucket. I'm getting 10% because I referred Roy. You would be getting 5% on Roy's initial and ongoing purchases. But remember, Roy's probably purchasing every day, and the way this system will be set up, much like a current system that many of you are aware of, it is a forced residual, meaning Roy's going to be able to send to his commission account a certain percentage of his daily reward that day. The other percentage of that daily reward goes into his bucks bucket, which forces a daily residual to the field. Now, that's what many of us are used to. And with a system that many of you are promoting with us that has that travel component, they've taken it and they've gone beyond just 2 generations. It can go through as many as 6 levels, Now, let me tell you, there is so much income in this part of the comp plan. There is so much income. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman got to 1.4 million points. He was purchasing about $16,000 a day. That's a lot of money. And what this company looked at, Plan B, they said, wait a minute. I think there's a way, because at some point there's going to be people that are going to get to 100,000 points, 250,000 points, 500,000 points, 1 million points or more. I think there's a way that we can impact more people. We can impact more people. Yes, T. Lamont got a really nice override. And yes, T. Lamont's sponsor got a really nice override, because T. Lamont's sponsor got a 5% override, all right, on that $16,000 purchase for the night. So I made $1,600. My sponsor made something like $800 for the day as an override for the day. And maybe it's not just one dude or dudette that has 1.4 million points. Maybe it's the combination of folks in your organization. Would you take it if you made $800 a day as an override? Are you going to give it back? You made $1,600 a day. Maybe it wasn't one dude or one dudette. Maybe it was no one superstar, but a whole bunch of these Joe and Susie averages that say, hey, I want to make money on a daily basis. Can you see that? Are you saying that? But this company said, hey, let's do this a little different. How can we structure this so that it has maximum impact? And so this is how this is going to be structured. I'm not going to focus on percentages as much as I'm going to focus on the structure. Okay? So this is what will happen. That will be paid out. The overrides on a package purchase and the ongoing daily rewards are going to be paid out amongst 3 generations to start. Amongst 3 generations to start. Now, generations are different. From levels in this system. Generations are different from levels in this system. What is a generation? Generation is based on the sponsorship tree. All right. So here's a generation. There was a young lady. We called her affectionately Nana. That was my. No, wait a minute. Let's do this. Yeah, we called her Nana. Queen called her Big Mom. Queen and I are first cousins, okay? But I was raised calling her Nana. Nana is my grandmother. My Nana closed her eyes in 2011, November of 2011, at the ripe young age of 101 years young. She lived a phenomenal life. What an amazing, amazing woman she was. All right. Then she had my dad, who we call Pops. Pops is my dad. All right. Then Pops had me. That would be me. Okay. Pops, I would be first generation to my dad, Pops, in this example. He directly sponsored me. His direct sponsor was Nana. His direct sponsor was my grandmother in this example. Okay? Our grandmother and grandfather, obviously. Okay? Unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet my grandfather because he passed on before I got here. All right? And my Nana's grandmother, parents, would be my grandpa, great-grandpa, Will, and my great-grandma, Emma. Okay? All right, so now, I am first generation to Pops. He sponsored me. So I'm first generation to Pops. I am second generation to Nana. Oh, by the way, check out my grandfather's name. My grandfather's name was General George Washington Silver. Proud to be an American. Woo! That boy's got some golden silky vocals. How do you like that for a name? General, that's really General. Put the General on there. That was his name. General George Washington Silver. Where I used to be free, but now in the U.S. they got all these doggone regulations, and that's all of my vocals I'm going to show off on tonight. Okay, so I would be second generation. You got to pay for the rest of it, guys. I'd be second generation to my Nana and General George Washington Silver, and I would be third generation to my grandpa Will and my grandma Emma. All right, so here we go. Here we go. So now, this is how this would work. All right. You, Saffron Bond, you sponsor Sue. Sue sponsors Venetia. Venetia, how do I spell your name? Okay. Venetia sponsors Ron. Okay? All right. So, that means that Ron is first generation to Venetia, second generation to Sue, third generation to Saffron. So, Venetia is going to get whatever her percentage is going to be here. All right? Sue's going to get whatever her percentage is going to be here. And Saffron is going to get whatever the percentage is going to be here. That's a generation. That's a generation. Those are generations, okay? So Ron makes his package purchase of however much, and then he's getting a daily reward. And remember, even if he is sending the maximum amount that he can to his commission account, which we would not advise, not long term anyway, because he would probably not replace all points that will eventually start retiring. But even if he did that, there's going to be a certain percentage that stays in his bucket, which means that these folks are going to earn on a daily basis overrides. Okay? That's generations. That's generations. This is based on sponsorship. Generations are based on sponsorship. All right. Now, here's where it gets sweet. Here's where it gets sweet. Remember we discussed the other night, or the, what's this, Tuesday night? We discussed on Sunday night, I believe it was, and even yesterday afternoon, we discussed something called a holding suite. This is not what the company will call it. They'll call it something else, but it's basically a holding tank. So, Venetia, when you refer Ron is first generation to you. He's always first generation to you. He's going to always be first generation to you. Ron is always second generation to Sue. Always, always, always. Ron is third generation to Saffon. Always, 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 always. Okay? Now, Venetia, since you sponsored Ron's going to be in your holding suite, and he could be in your holding suite for as long as 60 days. Now, what this means is Ron is, right, and as long as he's in your holding suite, Venetia, he's first generation to you. That never changes, whether he's in your holding suite or not. And as long as he's in your holding suite, he's on your first level. Now, I want you to understand, Venetia, whether you have him in the holding suite or not, you are still getting commissioned because you are his sponsor. Sue is still getting her commissions, whether Ron's in the holding suite or not. Saffon is getting Saffon's override. Okay? All right. Now, you're going to be able to build a unilevel structure which regulators like the best of all the models out there. They like the unilevel structure. However, you're going to be able to have this placement tool that will give the excitement that many people experience in a binary or a matrix structure. So, Venetia, let's say that you sponsored Ron, and Ron is sitting over here in your holding tank, and you also, maybe you sponsored, let's say you sponsored maybe a couple other folks here. You sponsored, you sponsored Shelly, and you sponsored Queenie. Not to be confused with Queen Twitter. Hey, Queenie, how are you doing out there? Not to be confused with Queen Twitter. We've got a young lady named Queenie on our webinar. Okay, and Queenie's here a lot. Hey, Queenie, good to see you. All right, so, Venetia, you sponsored Ron, Shelly, and Queenie. All three of these folks are first generation to you, Venetia. All three of these folks are second generation to Sue. All three of these folks are third generation to Saffon. And the moment that Ron made a purchase, Shelly made a purchase, Queenie made a purchase, Venetia, you got paid, Sue got paid, Saffon got paid. The moment that daily revenue starts and Ron has a portion of his daily revenue staying in bucks, meaning he didn't, even if he cashed out the maximum that he can cash out, he still had to have a certain amount that stays in bucks. Guess what, Venetia? You get commission, Sue gets commission, Saffon gets commission. Shelly does the same, you get commission, Sue gets commission, Saffon gets commission. Queenie does the same, you get commission, Sue gets commission, Saffon gets commission. Now, this is where it gets sweet. Venetia, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to have these contests that I mentioned. All right. And you're the sponsor, so you get to have whatever your contest happens to be. All right. So let's say you ran a contest between Ron, Shelly, and Queenie. You said, hey, this is going to be a 2-week contest. And whoever personally refers the most affiliates that come aboard with a monthly subscription and make a purchase, whoever refers the most affiliates, I'm going to put a leg into your organization. And let's say in this example, Ron wins. Ron wins the contest. Okay? Maybe Ron referred 3, Shelly referred 2, Queenie referred 1. Ron wins. Ron wins. And so now what's going to happen here, all right, Venetia, what's going to happen is you now place, let's say you place Shelly in Ron's unilevel. He's in your unilevel. She's in your unilevel. She's now also in Ron's unilevel. Have you missed out on anything, Venetia? No, because Shelly, even though you placed Shelly into Ron's organization, even though you placed Shelly into Ron's organization, Shelly is still first generation to you. So you still get your override percentage of her daily, what's going into her bucks bucket, any additional purchases she makes, her monthly subscription, whatever your override's there, you still get that. You don't lose a thing. Now, what does Ron gain? Ron, all of a sudden, has Shelly in his organization. He doesn't get a generational bonus there because he didn't sponsor Shelly. But Shelly is now in Ron's organization. And now guess what happens? Oh my gosh! Woo! Guess what happens now? Guess what happens now? Ron now picks up some money every day. Oh my gosh. He picks up some money every day that Shelly has a revenue, because a portion of her revenue is going to go into her bucks bucket. Even if she took out the maximum she could take out for that day, there's a certain percentage that has to go into her bucks. So guess who just picked up additional income because Ron went and won that particular contest? Ron did. Did it take anything away from Venetia? No! Didn't take one thing away from Venetia. See, when you understand what can happen here is so big that those commissions could get so big. The company simply said, well, we're going to pay out similar percentages to what we see some other companies that are paying out. We're just going to devise how we pay it out a little bit differently to really promote teamwork, to promote excitement, to promote activity. All right? To promote activity, because that's exactly what happened here when Venetia had a contest between Ron, Shelly, and Queenie. Ron got this, Shelly got this, Queenie got this, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have not just Shelly gets placed in Ron's organization. What if Shelly, even before she got placed in Ron's organization, was already building her own team? She's referred 2 or 3 or 4 folks, and they referred 2 or 3 or 4 folks, and they referred to it. Well, guess what? That entire lineage falls into Ron's organization. Ron starts to override. Wow. Let me show you just how powerful this is. Let's say in time, this happens in, who are we talking about here? Let's say this happens in Venetia's organization, which now is Ron's. Ron gets a little piece of that, all right? And maybe even with Shelly. You know, Shelly's begun to build her team. All right, let me show you what happens, okay? When someone is placed in your unilevel, you're going to be able to earn as much as 0.5%, as much as 0.5% on the daily overrides. And you say, well, that doesn't sound like a lot. Okay, you tell me. You tell me. The dude was doing $16,000 a day. And again, whether we're talking about a dude or combinations of dudes and dudettes, and if you got 0.5% override that day, that was $80 that day. Whether that was one dude or a combination of dude and dudettes, because someone is in your unilevel organization. By the way, Venetia, you want to know what happened for you? I told you weren't going to lose anything. Remember I told you, Venetia, you weren't going to lose anything? Remember I said, Venetia, you're not going to lose anything. All right? Venetia, do you know what else is going to happen here? When you place when you place Shelly into Ron's organization, he now is in your unilevel structure. You'll pick up another 0.5% there. So whatever you were already getting, you just double dipped by placing Shelly in your structure. By using that placement tool to to help someone else's business, and by running a contest. Now, one thing that we want to do, one thing that we want to teach, and we want as our culture, okay, we are not creating an entitlement society here. We're not creating an entitlement society. We're going to reward performance. We want to leverage this tool and not use it as a welfare or entitlement society tool. All right, so the other night I talked about my buddy Ain't Done Jack. Well, Ain't Done Jack gets to earn every single day in the revenue sharing model. Ain't Done Jack, I would not be placing anybody into Ain't Done Jack's organization, because he ain't done Jack. The whole purpose of this, multiple purposes, but one of the purposes of this, yes, we want to foster more people making more money, but now what also happened here? If Venetia placed Shelly in Ron's organization, Venetia now has assistance, should get assistance from Ron in helping Shelly build her business. One of the challenges that we see in when people are going wide and they're trying to sponsor as many people as they personally can, because the compensation plan typically is tilted towards the wider you go. Remember, we said this, not that we said it, but we just reiterated this from other mentors, that width, going wide, personally sponsoring, equals profitability. But depth equals security. So now what this system is going to allow you to do, Venetia, is going to allow you to go wide, sponsor as many people as you want. You can sponsor Ron, Shelly, Queenie, Paul, Mary, Susan, Sean, Roy, RK, Randall, Rashida, Yvonne, Zeke, Viola, Bill, Brian, Byron, CJ, Charlie, I can't get to all the names, Darlene, Betty. You can go as wide as you want. You can use this placement tool that we'll call, well, the company will, they've got their own name of it, but we'll call it right now, for lack of a better term, a holding suite. Generate some contests to get some buzz going on in your organization. And then take this width, Ron, Shelly, Queenie, you personally sponsored, you went wide, you're getting your biggest percentage as the sponsor of their, in terms of overrides, but then you can start placing them in your organization where it's going to benefit your organization, benefit you, benefit others, benefit your organization, and that helps to build depth. Now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. What happens if coming through Shelly's leg? Maybe Shelly doesn't build a 1.4 million point total, but maybe coming through her leg, because Shelly sponsored 3 or 4 or 5. And they, you know, somebody did nothing. Somebody else did nothing. Somebody else did 3, 4, 5. And then somebody else did 5, 7, 10, what have you. And coming through Shelly's organization is maybe 1.4 million points that's being overridden. Okay? And Ron's getting paid every single day. By the way, Queen, when you put out a contest and people have gotten that, that's why we're doing these webinars, okay? And people get that, oh my gosh, really? Huh? What? And even if Queenie doesn't win the contest, but Queenie winds up referring somebody that she maybe wouldn't have referred because she might not have been pushed into action. Queenie said, I'm going to go for it. You know, maybe it was a 2-week contest. You got up to 60 days, but maybe it was just a 2-week contest. You're the leader. You get to set your own rules for that particular contest. So Venetia said, hey, 2 weeks, whoever, you know, you got to sponsor them. Maybe she said you got to sponsor them a minimum of 1, but whoever refers the most numbers or has the most package purchases or what have you. You make up your own rules, okay? All right? And obviously when the system launches, you know, we'll be able to share maybe some contests that we've run that you might want to run, find out other contests that other leaders are running where they're getting the biggest bang for the buck. The types of contests they're running, are they 60-day contests, 30-day contests, quick spurts, week contests, 2 weeks, so on and so forth. So we'll get all that. We'll get into all of that. But what I want you to really get is the power of this company taking those daily override percentages, as well as the initial package percentages, and rewarding as many as 11 folks. Where does 11 folks come in? Because there's 3 generations that get rewarded. And so it doesn't matter where Benicia places Shelly in her unilevel. She can place Shelly on her 5th level in her unilevel. Sue still gets what Sue has coming to her, because Sue's 2nd generation. Saffron still gets what's coming to Saffron, because Saffron is 3rd generation. Okay, it doesn't matter where they got placed in the structure. All right, that structure is going to pay out as deep as 8 levels. As deep as. As 8 levels. Now, everybody's not going to be qualified for 8 levels day one. We'll have to qualify for the 8 levels, okay? But as deep as 8 levels. So I want you to think about how many folks that could be. Queen, some people might even do this. Hint, 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 okay? Some people, all right, so we're going to have a pre-registration, all right? Okay, pre-registration. How much does pre-registration cost? How much was that? It's free. What does free cost? Absolutely nothing. Okay, so this is going to be a chance for everyone to come in and take a seat, learn more and more and more. When pre-registration starts, there'll probably be, there might be some recorded conference calls and recorded webinars, and be some webinars maybe that talk about the pre-registration and a little bit about this company. By the way, let me tell you, today I saw a sizzle video that will be coming out. It's about 2.5 minutes. Phenomenal video, fantastic video. It'll be enough as people see that 2.5 minute video. It'll be enough for folks to say, well, yeah, let me go and pre-register and see what this thing's all about. Okay. All right. So there's going to be a pre-registration. Probably is going to happen next week. Probably is going to happen next week. Okay. So pre-registration. Now pre-registration, everybody takes a seat. Now we were with a company that did a pre-registration, and Queen, I wish I had been stronger with our audience about making sure that people got their pre-registration links out, so that they could pre-register as many people as possible. Pre-register everyone in your Facebook follow. Everyone get that link out to everybody in your Facebook, everybody in your Twitter, everybody in your email listing, in your text listing. Get that pre-registration out, because you have no idea who, as you get that out of mass, you have no idea who's going to be paying attention. Now, one of the things that will happen is you will be able to see the email addresses and the phone numbers of those that pre-registered directly linked to you. You won't be able to see people on your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, not their contact information. You may see, oh, John Smith pre-registered, but you won't see his address or his phone number unless you personally referred him. Okay. All right. Now, so what this is going to mean, Queen, is that as people pre-register, you're going to be able to communicate with them. You're going to be able to send them an email. Hey, congratulations, I saw you just pre-registered, so on and so forth. Okay. You'll even be able to plan out a contest, because you're going to be able to communicate with the folks that are pre-registering. We saw in the pre-registration phase, we saw people pre-register in the previous, in the current enterprise that we promote. We saw people pre-register 100, 200, 300 folks. There was a challenge there in that they weren't able to effectively communicate, and so some people upgraded, some people didn't. What's going to happen here is you're going to be able to see your personally sponsored and email and call them or what have you. Okay, so Queen, when you get your link, you want to get it out to as many people as you can. One, you want as many of your folks to get out their links, as many as they can. Their folks do the same. Their folks do the same, so that you have a pre-registered team of hundreds, if not thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of folks. Okay, so there's going to be the pre-registration stage. I don't know how long that's going to be. I do know the company does not want to enter an official pre-launch where they say, okay, people can make purchases until they feel confident that the field will be confident with the system. So you get a chance to come in, sign in the pre-registration. If we see a bug here or there in the pre-registration, let's go and squash those bugs. I don't know. It might be a couple weeks. I don't know how long that time period is going to be. But I know another thing is the company wants people to gain momentum and pre-build those teams. Because then what's going to happen is once pre-launch starts, then people are going to be able to get their monthly subscription and purchase their package or packages. Again, you'll be able to purchase the package. And my understanding is even in the pre-launch phase of purchasing packages, that my understanding is we'll be able to start giving away inventory during that stage. Okay. During this stage, the company is going to pay out commissions. During this stage, the company is going to pay out commissions. So those overrides that we talked about generationally, you sponsor John makes a purchase, and you earn commissions. You will get paid out commissions. You'll be able to take those commissions, and if you want to purchase more inventory to gain more points, you'll be able to do so. If you want to take those commissions and put some money in your pocket, you'll be able to do so. You want to do a combination? Do a combination. So I really want us to be very strong on getting a lot of people pre-registered. And guys, I'm going to tell you, see, in the system that I saw, Queen, in the back office, all right, in the system that I saw, you will be able to actually send a message to one of your personally sponsored in the system. So you're going to your system, and at the top of your login page, you'll be able to send a message. So if you've got 10 pre-registered, 1,000 pre-registered, what have you, you'll be able to communicate very effectively with them. One, they'll also be able to communicate with you, Queen. So your personally sponsored are going to see, hey, Queen is their sponsor, and internal in the system, they'll be able to send you a message. So when you log in, at the very top of the page, it's going to say messages. And you're going to know if you have a message. You'll be able to click on that link and, oh, okay, one of my personally sponsored has a question, or one of my personally sponsored, maybe needs some help with the 3 ways, so on and so forth, okay? The company will be able to communicate with all the folks, so you don't know. You have no idea who's really paying attention. Get those pre-registration links out. So then, Queen, what folks are going to be able to do as the pre-launch starts, okay, and people are making purchases, then folks are going to be able to start saying, I'm going to run a contest. So, for instance, Queen, what if you referred quite a few folks, okay? We got some folks like Isaac, my buddy, referred. He had over 100, I think 200 folks in a pre-registration previously. Aaron, I think, had over 300 folks in a pre-registration. Ryan had going on 300 folks in a pre-registration. Now they'll be able to communicate with their folks. So what happens if you should be able to see those that purchase packages or upgrade or what have you, so you can say, oh, okay, their status changed from free to now they're upgraded. Now you're going to be able to put contests together. And so, Queen, what if you had 10 personally upgraded first generation? And I know for you that will be a small number. That'd be a much bigger number for you. But let's just say 10, okay? Queen, look at what you'll be able to do even before the daily revenue starts. You could go and you could say, you know what? Maybe right now I'm only going to build 3 legs or 4 legs or 5 legs. I don't need to be 10 wide. I personally sponsored all 10, but maybe I'm just going to build 3 legs. And so maybe I'll do a contest. And so these 10 folks are going to eventually be in one of 3 legs. And whoever wins the contest, that's the one who gets the legs. And so you could decide to do that. Maybe you have 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 folks that upgrade. What if you said, you know what, I'm going to focus on building 3 strong legs out the gate. I'll build those legs really, really strong, make sure the people in those legs are making money. And then, you know, if I'm a big recruiter, then maybe I'll go and start a 4th leg in time and start a 5th leg in time. But right now, maybe I'm just going to focus on 3 or 4 or 5 legs. I'm talking about if you sponsored 100 folks, Queen. What happens if you just focused on 3 or 4 legs out of the gate? Are you seeing? Are you seeing? The whole idea during this pre-registration stage, get as many people pre-registered as possible. Tell them I don't understand everything. You don't have to understand everything. Did it cost you anything? This is why we're doing these series of webinars. You think we're going to stop once the pre-registration starts? No. We're going to continue. There'll be about a 2.5 minute, very professionally done sizzle video that you'll be able to get people directed to, so that you can get more and more people registered at your pre-registration page. And then we'll get into the pre-launch. You make as large of a package purchase as your resources allow. You're just not going to hurt your family. You want to go on and plan for as large of a monthly subscription as you can out the gate. I'm going to strongly suggest you at least budget for the 200. Why? Because that's where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck. And since you're going to be getting a lot of pre-registrations, and your teammates may be getting a lot of pre-registrations, their teammates may be getting a lot of pre-registrations, this is going to give you your biggest bang for your buck. Now, if you do the $200 a month, and you know you fell and you scraped your knee, and you did, for whatever reason, you didn't get a lot of people pre-registered, and they didn't get a lot of people pre-registered, and you know you're only going to be able to make a small purchase right now, and so that's not going to make sense for you going forward. All right, well then you revisit that. But I want you all to do the 200 if you can out of the gate. That gives you the best profit potential. We have a phenomenal opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. A phenomenal. Nobody even knows the name of the company yet. I mean, I do, but that's so nobody knows. You, the folks that are on this webinar and the folks that have been coming to this web, you are the ones that know. You're the ones that are first. So when this is ready, ladies and gentlemen, as early as sometime next week, let's get those out. All right, so I wanted to make sure you understood that part of the compensation. The revenue sharing model is the core, because it is what attracts masses of people. The override model, overriding those purchases and those daily overrides, that's the second biggest key, because that's where you can really generate some major revenue, and then you can take that revenue and buy more inventory yourself to really grow your point totals, as well as put money in your pocket commission-wise. This gentleman that grew to 1.4 million, one of the reasons he grew to 1.4 million is because he did build a referral network, and he got really good commissions. And earlier on, he used most of those commissions to buy inventory to grow his point totals. He put some money in his pocket, obviously. And then he got to the point where he had a nice, consistent, by the way, this dude was doing about 25 grand a week. When he was at 1 million or so points, cash in hand, he was putting in his pocket about 25 grand a week, 100 grand a month. and he had been in the industry 14 years. Prior to that point, had never made much more than $500 a month in this industry. And there's some folks out there, ladies and gentlemen, that are absolutely getting this. There's a young lady, Bonnie, who's been an affiliate marketer. She was with the company Queen, that biggest revenue sharing model. She was with that company. She made some decent money. And the other day, when she was on one of these webinars, and she saw this right here, because this is the kind of stuff that she affiliate markets, the light bulb went off, and we got to make sure she gets that sleeping aid, because she's not sleeping much right now. I mean, now she's going after a whole new market of folks. She's going after affiliate marketers are not necessarily MLMers. They promote products, other people's products and services, and they get a commission for doing so. A lot of times they don't, like talking to people. So they want to find systems that work, and they don't have to talk to anybody. Well, guess what? What she's saying to affiliate marketers is, you're spending so much per month for your advertising budget. You're buying this course and that course. Why don't you take a portion of that budget and buy you a package, place an ad a day, at least to the minimum, so that you qualify for your daily revenue. And that's what happened with her with the previous enterprise. And after just a few short months, she was generating a full-time income, far more than she was generating through her affiliate marketing efforts. And she put out a ton of money for her affiliate marketing efforts. So she said, hey, I'm going after all these affiliate marketers out there. And I mean, wow. Her name is Bonnie, by the way. She may wind up being the crown jewel of this particular company, because she is fired up. Okay. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop there tonight. There are other forms of compensation I've not gotten into just yet, but that's the one I wanted to make sure that we covered tonight. How about we open things up for optional Q&A? We'll